So cheers. I'm in the Charlotte airport. I'm beginning my journey. I'm going to Munich. I'll be there 6 hours. Then I'm flying to Tallinn, Estonia. And I'll be at Mind Valley University for a week. And I was hoping for the upgrade. I was hoping for the American Express Lounge. So I'm here in the Rumba bar, or the Rum Bar. I'm gonna get fish tacos, and I'm gonna be grateful. As I drove here, I took a 3.5 hour Uber, and the gentleman was amazing. He was from South India, and when his name came up on the Uber, and I texted him, I'm like, hey, what a beautiful name. Looking forward to spending the next 3.5 hours with you. We got on like a house on fire. He's like me. He left his country. I left Canada, and he didn't want to do what he was expected to do from his family. Not necessarily like a black sheep or anything, but he was just willing to take a different path. And he has a master's, and he is like an IT guy, like a really super smart guy, but he wasn't finding a job that honored him or that inspired him. And so he loves the human experience. He has a beautiful car, and he likes driving Uber. So it reminds me of this podcast you're about to listen to with Elizabeth, how she's done every job under the sun. She is a free spirit. She follows her heart. Right now she's working in this wine bar in a grocery store, and she followed her heart, and it's fun. And I think it was only the first day on the job. You're not going to hear this part in the podcast because it happened just recently, where this woman, she poured her some wine, and this woman said, I just want to, can we talk after your shift? And so Elizabeth had never sat on the customer side of the bar. So she did. She changed her clothes. She sat, and they had the most incredible conversation where this woman needed to be heard and listened to and seen and gotten. And Elizabeth is so present. She was literally this woman's angel. Gave her some different points of view, insights. The woman kept saying, I've never thought about it that way. Like, isn't it amazing how there's some ways that we can say, well, I'm worthy because I made this much money, or I got this award, or whatever, right? Which is awesome. But there's also, I made a difference because I listened to somebody. I was there for somebody. I literally changed the trajectory of their life, and that's who Elizabeth is. She's love, she's joy, she's brave, she's surrendered. You're going to enjoy this podcast. And I'm going to enjoy my fish tacos that are going to arrive any minute here. And I'm going to enjoy an amazing month away, right on the heels of being broken up with for the third time, and him not wanting to repair, and me finally saying, okay, I'm such a never giver upper. Anything's possible. But you know what? When somebody doesn't want you in their life and doesn't want to do the work with you, why am I sticking around? So off I'm going on an adventure to love being alive. So let's enjoy this podcast, Being Alive, together. Welcome to Intimate Conversations. Become the one. Intimacy is an inside job. Hello and welcome, delicious friends, to another episode of Intimate Conversations. Here we are, season 12, Become the One. What we've done this year is I have 10 Allana Pratt method processes. We have 10 months of podcasts for you. And so this month is around the Allana Pratt method called Conscious Communion with the Beloved. You are the one you've been seeking. And so every single month, I also have the pleasure of introducing you to one of my beloved clients, compadres, sisters or brothers in crime. And so today we have the gorgeous, amazing, heart-centered Elizabeth, sometimes also known as Aaliyah. And she has written her bio in such a beautiful way here. So let me read this to you. Elizabeth, also, as I said, sometimes known as Aaliyah, sees herself and her life as a living kaleidoscope, a rotating of loose pieces bouncing off mirrors that results in an ever-changing view. As the Scottish inventor who coined the term and translated it, an observation of beautiful forms. She's had less of a neat career track story and more of a jigsaw puzzle pieces dumped on the table kind of life. Some titles she's played along the years include international exchange student, cocktail waitress, benefits administrator for a craft brewery, sailboat cook crew, and owner and captain as a live aboard cruiser, teeny tiny monkey sitter, finance manager for a whitewater rafting facility, real estate investor, ordained minister, wellness practitioner. I mean, that's a movie right there if I've ever heard it. Okay, I'm not done. I'm not done. Her favorite roles so far are as a devoted sister, honored daughter, juicy friend, crazy cat mom, local food advocate, wine lover, shell collector, landed mermaid, erratic, I was going to say erotic, but no, it's not. It's erratic gardener, but we can call it erotic gardener, can't we?
There's been naked in the garden.
Okay, there we go. See, I was feeling it. Stargazer, light dancer. And she's currently focused on supporting, uplifting, and inspiring those on a health and wellness journey to co-create ease, comfort, vitality, and joy in their lives, working with both ancient and leading edge technologies of energy medicine and biofield therapy. Some years ago, she came to understand her purpose and her life mission as being a celebration of joyful possibilities, and is having a ball living her always evolving best every day and messy life. Okay, maybe you win the Bio of the Year award. Like, that is so delicious. I so love you. Thank you for playing with me on this podcast. How the hell are you, sister?
I am delighted and deeply honored to be here, and I'm excited for all this one-on-one time with you.
I know, right? It's juicy. We actually, viewers and listeners, we actually just live right down the way from each other. We're both in South Carolina right now, but when we met, that was not the case. Tell them how you first discovered I existed, and how we our first circle around the sun, shall we say, and now we've recommitted and recircling again.
Stage one. I actually don't remember specifically what podcast interview, something online that I heard you, and I was like, that woman, she's so saucy. She is, like, she swears with abandon, but she's brilliant. She's using all these really lovely words, and I could feel your heart, and I could feel like I wanted to be more like that in my life. And so I felt the immediate magnetism and connection. I feel like it was a while before I had the courage to reach out. And, you know, you were like on a little pedestal out there in the world of fabulous practitioners. And then I don't remember how I landed on you, but I said, oh my God, it's time. I got to do some work, and I want to be with her. So we did. And I looked it up today. It was May of 2015 that we did our first round of coaching.
Our first round of coaching. Wow. 2015. Right? Here we are in 2024. Wow.
How many people have you been since then?
I've iterated into many different Allanas, and there's been probably thousands of clients between then. A couple of ex-husbands. No, I'm just kidding. but no, not really. Like, seriously, amazing. So when we completed, and then there was the middle time before you came back to coaching again, I could always rely on you, and it wasn't like clockwork. It was sporadic, but it was consistent. You would always send these really loving emails. You would always make me feel seen. You were so with me on my journey. Like, you watched the videos, you read the newsletters, you commented, you had my back, you shared your world with me. And it was just like so beautiful, so wonderful. And then there came a time, I guess, maybe how long ago was it? Maybe a yearish or so ago? A yearish or so.
Almost.
When things were really, it seemed like the perfect storm was brewing in your life. Like, all these things were kind of coming to a head. And I'm like, oh, it's breakthrough time. I can see the magnificence of your soul and the stubbornness of your ego mixed together, maybe.
Yeah.
Right?
Spot on.
And if you were going to keep going on your own, it was almost a guaranteed train wreck. But I would love to be in that train wreck with you as you just let it all fall apart so we can arise and ascend to this next dimension together. Because I never saw it as a wrongness that everything was crashing and burning. But that's what happens when we, it's like if you say, I choose to be love, well, everything unlike love is going to come up to be integrated, right? So if you're choosing this extraordinary life and relationships, all relationships that aren't that are going to show up to be processed on some level. So I invited you to come back. What was that like?
Well, I feel like there's a little important precursor to that, which is that you had started your journey to the East Coast.
True.
And I was following this, and when you said you were getting in your car, I was like, oh my God, she's coming this way. You've been so far away. And, you know, like when we finished 9 years ago, I was at a ceiling. You brought me to a place, and then I just didn't have the courage or the wherewithal or the understanding about how important it is to be in the fire. And so I was a groupie watching you for all those years and being on your path, and that vulnerability that you have always brought is what kept me connected and feeling like I can relate. And when you said you were coming to the East Coast, I was like, I got to meet this woman. Like this, I will drive for hours to go and meet this woman.
I love
So
you.
how can we connect? And then you said you landed where you landed, and then you ended up in South Carolina. And I had sent a couple of emails that you actually replied to, and it had been a while since we'd done that. And I was stunned that you remembered me and that you were available for this. So right about a month before my world exploded, we were making plans to meet in a couple of months on the beach, have some wine, sunset, all of that. And then in the middle of those plans, scheduling kablooey, and you said, come fall, let the pieces fall over here, and let's be in this. So I would not be who and where I am in this moment of the process, because it's not over, without you and the support, and we can talk about that.
Yeah, and the community. Thank you. Thank you for it's always like a strange moment for me to invite somebody to do coaching, because we don't need it, right? We don't need it. We're all,
are you kidding me? Of course we do.
well, need it on a level of like, we're whole and complete. Like we're all sovereign beings. We can all be big girls and big boys and choose. I've just never been able to have a life that I love without multiple coaches. I can't see my blind spots to save my life. If I think I know what I'm doing a little too much, my ego takes over, and it's a bad thing. It's like, I need this for my own humility, and to exhale. Like I need a coach because I serve so many people all day long. Like, who's got my back, right? So I know that this is how I'm wired, but I'm always like a little bit, but that's not how everybody necessarily is wired. So when I invite people into a partnership of coaching, I'm always a little bit, I want them to not think I'm saying you're broken and you need help. Like, it's not like that. It's like, let's link arms. Let's walk together. Because I believe together we're better. And I believe there's something I can see in you and you can see in me, and together we're more. And then you add community to this once a week as well, the private calls, but the group calls. And then you've got like family, soul family, sisterhood, brotherhood. So I guess, why did you say yes to coming back? It was an intense time.
Because I needed to survive it, and I wanted not only to survive but to come out thriving, because I deserve a life too. And I for a period of time, I was in complete and utter chosen service to my family, and it was exhausting, and I needed to cry and be rejuvenated and be held and know that I could let the steam off, or whatever the feelings were, needed to go somewhere other than my kitchen floor.
Totally. Yeah.
Yeah. So when you offered that, it was like this huge um invitation to release, relax, and be received. Yeah,
Mm,
and be held. Yeah.
mm,
And
mm,
it was the best gift.
mm,
Your invitation. Yeah.
Thank you. My experience of you since you came on, because we didn't do group calls like 8 years ago when we were working together. I just did like private calls. Um,
Right.
and for me, it's efficient to do more group calls than private calls all day long, but it's actually better results. And that was hard for my ego as well, because I'm like, well, I can get
Yeah.
more results on a private call. And maybe I can go deeper with a certain process. But it's amazing when you come together consistently and you practice vulnerability and you practice moving through, oh my God, they're seeing me as a hot mess. Oh, and they still love me. Oh, and I actually inspire them. Like it's a whole other dimension where we can go farther, faster together. Um, what was it like for you to join into the group at first and over time?
It was a welcoming space, completely welcoming, soft. I was a little nervous because, we go deep fast, right? And within an hour. So showing up to a group that had already been meeting and being the new kid sort of had
Yeah.
that like, oh, I'm in another class at school at another school
Yeah.
kind of, are they going to like me? And then that, quickly evaporated. I have been in a similar kind of weekly group activity for some years now that's also been a really profound support, and it's all women. So what I found really powerful was being with the divine masculine and the wounded masculine and the messy, the whole masculine energy, having men on these in the group calls. And I haven't been on one with, multiple genders, but having people expressing themselves, for me, particularly the family issue is around my dad. So having male energy on the group calls feels really like I'm opening a long closed door.
Mm.
And my life for the last 11 years, I've been around mostly men. I live in, and the spaces in which I move are mostly female. So
Mm.
that was another dimension that I really, really value,
Mm.
being, because they're so brave, they were so courageous, and they're so real, and they're a hot mess like me
Yeah.
sometimes, and they're noble like I am sometimes. And yeah,
Yeah.
that's a long
Yeah.
answer to a short question.
No, no, I love that you're sharing about this. And there aren't a lot of couples, but there's couples as well. And so sometimes
Yeah.
we get to see what the couples are going through as they choose to move in together or heal from betrayals or what have you. And in real time, we get to watch a single woman, a single man, or a couple be authentic all together and all have each other's back and all be brave and all go deep fast. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, amazing. Um, you don't have to share what's going on, or you can if you want to, but I think it's important that people understand, yes, I'm an intimacy expert, but it wasn't like you came to me to say, how can I have more orgasms? It's not, I mean, we talk about orgasms, but intimacy, the way I see it is like this relationship with ourself, dropping out of our head into our bodies, integrating everything in the way so we can stay in our bodies and be receptive to life, the messy and the magnificent. It's this internal relationship where you really feel like you belong to yourself, to the divine. And then when we have that, we can be that and attract that, right? Um, how has round two been in terms of supporting not intimacy necessarily dating, but we started with intimacy with family and the father wound or the mother wound or the sister wound, which it's how we have relationships. We will attract our wound in who we date or who we marry. That's how that works. So tell us about what it's been like to face and feel and integrate around these core relationships.
So when I originally came to you, it was about money and my dad.
Yeah.
I don't know if you remember, at least some of the work we did was
Yep. Yep.
about
Yep. All those years
daughter
ago, Money
relationship.
and Your Dad. Yep.
Yeah. And why I chose what felt so absolutely magnetized to you back then was that you were speaking much more openly than I was accustomed to, but very loudly and boldly and beautifully, I think, sexily about sex and about the intimacy. So you were using language that was outside my comfort zone and outside my body zone. And that was all very compelling to feel like, oh, there's the possibility that I can open up to more of that. So fast forward to the fall,
Yeah.
where you and I have been in the last 8 years has brought us to a different kind of space, right? So I get the sense that you're not so focused on talking about your body parts and, fabulous sex, although you still do, because it's you. Uh, the intimacy piece about the family dynamics, everything you just said is now so much more resonant with who and where I am. So being in this implosion and explosion of the family.
Mm.
I now, one of the gifts of my travels over the last bunch of years is that I now know there's always beauty in it, in the ugly. And it was freaking ugly for day after day, 24 hours. It just was nonstop for months.
Mm.
And knowing that I could trust you, knowing that I could trust the group, knowing that I trust the process, but having forgotten
Mm.
that, okay, this is noise, this is for me, it's through me, it's by me, and I can't control a lot of what's happening. So I want to take care of myself, and B, I'm the only one who can affect the way my world presents.
Yeah.
So giving myself permission to come in with you and giving myself permission to be the focus of attention, because it's been about everybody else for most of my life. And then this since September on, it has not been a place that I've wanted to be seen. And I am in a lawsuit now, and I shit's public. It's like,
Yeah.
a lot of people are knowing the story that I didn't want them to know. And
Mm.
to be able to come to a place and a space where it's more important that I receive and I give from the center of me. How do I get to that center? Where is it? I've lost it.
Mm.
I
Yeah.
remember one of our early, maybe our first one-on-one when it was the divine connection. That's where we landed, the importance of the divine connection. And I'm doing this because literally I get this imagery inside my body that pull all that energy that I'm stressing about and, oh, I've got to drive there and see that attorney and do this and that. Pull it all in.
Yeah. Whole.
Come to the core, breathe. That's where my divinity is. That's where my peace is. That's where my power is.
Mm.
Come back to me.
Mm. Turn inward.
And then,
Yeah.
yeah. And when you've helped me understand what it feels like to go through the integration process, feeling it, and then feeling it dissolve, feeling it horrible and really shitty, and then feeling it dissolve.
Yeah.
Then I can bring that back out to all the places that I choose to give to, or I feel like I'm needed and I have to go. Yeah.
Mm.
So.
Oh, that's so brilliantly said. Turn inward versus try to control outward. And just the exquisite gift for me to sit in the fire with you and be the facilitator. I'm not doing it to you. I'm holding space so you can just lose your shit. And I got you, and you're not going to go anywhere. And you can feel all the way through to the other side. When you said so beautifully, it does dissolve. But when we only feel it a little bit, it stays there, and then it grows, and then it grows, and then it grows, right? But to feel it all the way through, the unfeelable, it's like the unfeelable.
Yeah.
Like, I'm going to die.
Yes.
take me with you. We got this. And then to watch the integration before my very eyes of betrayal beyond betrayal, unthinkable, unspeakable, unfathomable betrayal, just piercing at your soul, cracking you open, feeling all the way through to it dissolves into this, not like joy, peace, bliss, like, no, just like motherfucking stillness, like unwavering potency without doing shit. Like that's what I've watched you over and over and over, like onion layers continue to process. And so we don't need to go into all the details unless you want to, because I've had tons of court cases, custody battles, criminal assault, all the things. So there's no shame around here when we go through these life lessons.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong about me. There's nothing wrong about you. There's nothing wrong about how the divine is, the cat is giving us these experiences to grow. Where would you say you are today about the same circumstance, but you're different?
Yeah.
Right?
I am.
Yeah. Tell us how you are.
Yeah, baby, I am.
Yes, you are. You've done the work. You're doing the work. So how are you different about a circumstance that would take most of anybody down? Bitter.
I did go down for a while and I held it together, and then there came a point and then I went down. And how I'm different. The question was how I feel different, right?
Yeah, about the same circumstance, but you're different.
Yeah, and it's funny that the circumstances are changing, as I believe, as a result of how I'm changing, right?
Yeah, think? Yeah, think?
Maybe.
Yeah.
Yes, people, this is how it works.
Correct. It's inside creates the outside. Yeah, tell us, love.
Yeah. So things have gone really quiet. They're not over. And it's been only a couple of pieces of, got to sign this form and do this thing in the legal process. But there has been stillness on the outside I know from how I am choosing to allow the stillness on the inside, but also to allow myself to be. I felt really like I was betraying my family for enjoying myself, for laughing. Like when this was over the holidays, when it was in the heat of the intensity, I find joy everywhere. So, but I was like holding it back because it needed to be, I thought I needed to show up and be somber and be like, all right, I'm like fucking exhausted and I'm worn out and this is wretched and I want it to not be happening. But oh my gosh, there's so much beauty over here. Nope, can't feel that. Nope, don't do that. Nope, don't allow it. And so where I am now is understanding in my body what it feels like, that I can hold all of it, or both of it. I don't know. Well, I'm here. I am holding all of it.
Yeah.
Right. I'm still here. So there is still sadness and grief and like very small amount of confusion because I've kind of let most of that go.
Yeah.
Like it's not what I know now is that this is all, it's part of my story, but it's not part of it's part of my story. Yeah. It's a different feeling, integrated part that has helped me come back to me and remember my power, remember that I get to choose what I feel, and I get to not be trying to control anybody else because it's futile. And so there is that surrender to everybody's in charge of themselves.
Yeah.
Sovereignty. That's what sovereignty looks like. You mean I have to be okay with them living like that and doing that and saying that? And yeah, but it feels like my interior landscape has expanded, and they're sort of over there. The whole situation is over there. It's happening, it's connected, it's still going on, but
you're not attached.
My place. Yeah, I'm good. Like my piece when I started in January, the year, I decided my peace is priceless.
Mm,
So that's what's given me courage to keep showing up in our groups and in our
mm,
meltdowns
right.
and being seen, with face scrunchy and snot everywhere. And that was not anything I could imagine a year ago, being
Mm,
able to let loose anywhere outside the doors of my home
right.
to the degree that I have in our group and with you. Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah. Yeah. The mama bear in me, the state, like to create a safe space for us all to feel all the way to the core pretty much instantly as soon as we get on the call. And then the next person's invite, like that's now the new norm. So the next one can go deeper and then the next one can go deeper. What I
Yeah.
really love about what you're saying is I used to be like clamoring for pleasure, resisting the pain, roller coaster, this way or that. And through all this integration work that I'm doing and facilitating, I sort of do this with my hands, right? Like we can be with the
Yeah. Yeah.
pleasure, we can be with the pain, we can be with it all. We can be with it all. And when we can be with it all and resist nothing and allow all, people can't take us off our center. We're not the victim of circumstances. We are human. We feel our feelings and we allow for the authentic, not the clamoring for excitement, anything to not feel the pain. No, that's different. It's a joy. The smallest things can bring us joy and we allow ourselves to have that. And in a moment, it can turn into tears, happy tears, sad tears. We're just present, human, and spacious, which has
Yeah.
allowed you to receive, um, well, a lot of love from the group and gratitude from the group, but you're also showing up more in life. Like you're playful in a way that you haven't been before. And given all of your incredible roles and all the different exchange student and finance manager and well, like all these different things you've been. Tell us what you've chosen, how you've chosen to show up and play most recently in this world.
Oh, thank you. I will, but I want to interrupt for a second because it just watching you do this, I've seen you do this. You have such beautiful hands.
Oh,
And I don't have the camera on. So when you do this and then you
yeah,
do this,
yeah,
you did that. Go
yeah.
back and look on the tape. You're holding a lotus flower at your face, like,
Mm,
yeah, or at your, like, it's so lovely.
mm.
You're so,
Thank you, sweetheart.
come
It
on,
feels,
ham it up.
I feel the energy of it though when I say it. Like I really do feel like we are the
Yeah,
vessels
yeah.
and we can become the empty vessels of this like lotus flower. All the integration work I'm doing with PSI, I set the room, I protect the space, etc. And then I just say, divine, use me for this beautiful soul. And all sorts of crazy shit goes down as a facilitator of divine energy for another's evolution. So thanks for saying that, because I do feel like I'm a empty vessel to the best I can, anyways.
And
Yeah.
ever blooming, like the lotus.
Right? Because we'll never get there. Yeah, it is true. We're
Yeah.
ever blooming. I was like crying into my eggs and toast the other morning with Scott, like just having another moment. And we're getting so much better at him just being able to just be with me and not have to fix it or
Yeah.
and just listen and be the banks of the river for me when I'm having my moments too. So I'm no different.
I'm glad for you about that.
Thank you. Me
So with
too.
the hands and your question, it's kind of an
Mm,
interesting segue. I
mm.
will link it because where I'm playing now, I just am laughing. Where I'm playing most recently is at a wine bar in a grocery store. So I'm using my hands to say hello and pour beer. And yeah, I didn't know it was a thing to have a bar inside of a grocery store. So we had one to open up here recently. So um, I was ready to go kind of be in social settings. I've
Yeah.
since COVID, I've been a little bit more recluse,
Yeah.
and I decided, okay, well, I want to work around wine. I love wine, and a
Same.
friends were going to they were buying a wine shop, and the deal fell through at the last minute. So I was all set to go work with them, and then this grocery store opened up with the wine. We literally just opened yesterday.
Wow.
So I've been working for like 3 weeks. as part of the opening crew. Yeah, I know. So I got a little uniform and some non-slip black sneaker. You know, you got to get all the gear, and it's a pretty space, and people are thrilled. I mean, wine, flowers. What was the other one? I think maybe childcare. Somebody told me they're just a couple. Oh, funeral business. There are few businesses that are recession proof, right?
Yeah.
Everybody wants to drink, whether you're doing well or not, whether the stock price up or down, you want to drink. A lot of people do. Somebody will always be born, getting married, having a birthday, or dying, and flowers are around for that, right?
True,
and you've
true.
got the funeral services. So I'm in this place where people walk in and are happy to be there. They want to engage. I get to engage briefly, and I do so much deep, profound stuff in a lot of my life that it's really nice to be in this lighter space. Yeah. So I'm getting a little bit of yin and yang, and
I'm loving it. I love this choice that you, again, this balance that we speak of, like you let yourself have the lightheartedness and you also have the depth, and you are going through the last parts of this court thing and you're letting yourself have joy. I think this is amazing. And I also love that you're showing up more because you're open to love. You don't need it to be enough, but you're open to it. So how has this journey, because we are talking relationships and intimacy, what's changed for you in terms of what kind of relationship, what's possible in relationship, your readiness for relationship, I'm not doing that again, and really how's that all?
You're talking about intimate partnership thing, or all the relationships?
No, a intimate partnership, a romantic partnership. How's that shifted in our almost year together?
This time last year, I call him Mr. Unexpected. I manifested someone who showed up, and we had a lovely, what did somebody name to have this relationship? It was a, there was this cool term about it being a not relationship, like a vibe, a vibrationship or something.
A vibrationship?
Not a vibratorship. Unless you want it to be. Where it was very casual and not frequent, but totally fun. It was fun. It was lighthearted. There was, sex for the first time in a really long time. There was some hand holding and, going on joyrides and on motorcycles. It was a blast. I'm so ready for more motorcycle fun. And then the family situation hit in the fall, and so that sort of went the way it needed to go. And in January, I remember noticing, okay, that was 2023. I'm ready for next iteration this year, next level. What else is possible? And it continued to has been pretty intense for another 3 or 4 months. And so now things are just starting to open up. So I am open to possibilities.
I love
it. To joyful possibilities.
Yeah. What is I don't know if it's a quality or an essence or a non-negotiable or I'm worthy of now. What would you say is the newest element in what you're calling in relationship?
Presence. That's the first word that came in. Yeah. And a man who's got the sense of himself as part of the larger picture. So somebody who's a little more aligned with my spiritual and knowings and the kind of conversations we're having here. Somebody who shows up for your coaching, who's wanting to go big to their own next level, and a good listener. Yeah. Definitely.
I love what you're saying. And it's so wild because we all have masculine and feminine within us. And to watch you heal from the dad situation and be your own back, be present to yourself listen to yourself, stay with yourself. That would say your masculine holding your feminine inside of you. It seems inevitable that you will attract that because you are that. I
like
love
that too, that what you just did.
I do all the hand things.
I'm a visual thinker, so that really helps.
Oh, good. I'm so glad. Yeah,
And from the inside, it comes out, as we
totally.
said. So
It has to. Yeah.
there's just a little bit of a lag because we're in 3D time and space.
Sure, sure. I agree that way as well. And I love that there's no attachment to who, what, when, where, how. And you're showing up in the world, having fun, playful, doing what you love to do, and you'll be more visible. Like, who knows who you'll meet? So we shall see. I just got confirmation yesterday with my event coordinator for the next annual retreat in off of Cancun.
Mexico. Yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
yeah. So it's a 12-bedroom house, sister. So between now and then, I wonder who we can manifest. And like, I would like to learn more about intimacy and take you on this retreat you'd like, and I would like you to do that. Thank you very much. You never know. Yeah.
Appreciate your speaking the words. I shall incorporate them.
Yeah, we'll just put it out to the universe. We're not attached, but we're open. People have met at retreats. People come with their partners to retreats. Many, I'd say many a marriage have like been saved. They were on the brink when they came. We've had renewals of vows. We've had proposals. We've had singles finding incredible friendships and expressing themselves more fully live with as you said, the men and the women that you meet on the group calls. You meet them in person at these retreats. So I don't know, that'd be really fun for us to play together that way as well.
Yeah.
For me to show up, I don't even know what grocery store you're at, but like that'd be fun just to like surprise you and show up one day.
Oh yeah. Please do.
So I want to honor your time, and I want to ask a few more questions. Your this when we talked about the ancient and leading edge technologies, I want to know more about what you do, and I want to know more about how this work has either confirmed what you like to do in the world, given you more confidence, trusting in abundance, giving of your gifts. Like, tell us more about it, and then how has this work? Because intimacy is with our body, with the divine, with the beloved, but it's also intimacy with money, our capacity to receive because we feel worthy of receiving love, worthy of receiving money, a willingness to show up. It permeates all areas of our life. So tell us about that, and then how this work is supporting that.
And keep it short. That's
you don't have to keep it short. Just keep it real. It's all good. Take your time.
Yeah, we could be here for a couple hours.
Okay, we can't be here. I have another podcast, but
right, that's what I mean. There is value in essence, right? I've been learning that, yes, to be able to be a little more succinct than I was raised to be.
Okay.
So I was not in a service capacity when I moved here 11 years ago. So that's part of what this chapter has brought. And they are Reiki and the Beamer circulation therapy and biofield therapy. They are things that I didn't really know existed, or how to, I've been engaged with my own version, but I didn't know there were modalities. So they have connected me to people, to realms, to experiences, to lots of healing of myself and others. And yeah, that's that. There's a succinct response.
Okay.
So you want some more detail?
just so that people understand, like, because when we do these conversations with clients, I'm always grateful for you to share, what it's like for people to coach with me. And I want you to say, at the end, like, why you think somebody should do it. But I also want to make sure that it's a contribution to you too. And whatever you're up to in the world, what if somebody sees this interview and they're like, oh, I want to date her. I want to learn more about what she does. I just want it to be a contribution to your world too. So Yeah. Tell us what this is if someone's interested, and her information will be in the bio.
So it's really all about energy, right? We're all frequency. So these modalities are about getting in touch with our own innate healing power, our connect of mind, body, spirit, the flow of energy through us and into the universe from the divine, all of that. And not only connecting, but like the beamer technology is a circulation therapy, so it increases blood flow at a microcirculatory level. 8 minutes of lying on the mat, you have up to 33% better blood flow. Blood heals, oxygen to the cells. Cells are building blocks. Like, so you're supporting your entire system and coming out of fight or flight. We all need that every single day.
Yeah. In this world.
And so, yeah. So whether someone has a single session or decides to incorporate that into their lifestyle, which is what it's designed for, being in service to showing or sharing with someone what it feels like you do with me, what it feels like to be in the fire, what it feels like to be fucking relaxed. Like whether Reiki, like relaxed, or moving things, letting things pass through, letting the emotions flow. I don't identify necessarily what it is I'm doing. I just, like you do, open the channel and it moves through. And I don't know what happens for them unless they care to share with me. And it's something that's so different from how we address our stress needs, our physical comfort needs. So being in service in that way, helping someone else have the embodied experience. Do I sound like anybody you know? And then there's abundance to be had. There's money. I have, like I said, I've never really had a career track. So money comes to me in expected and unexpected ways, seen in unforeseen ways. And I have been super blessed by being in a family that's given me an education. And, so I've gone out in the world and I've done some smart things. So I'm ready for next level of that as well. So that we can have our PSI and
I was going to say that was
cycle on the road.
Yeah. So how has this work inspired you with Beamer and your abundance? PSI is one of the things you choose, but you also choose a new motorcycle, right? Like you're wanting to
I want to get back on a boat, living on a sailboat, or
you want to,
I want to go back and live on a boat.
You want to,
and have that itinerant lifestyle. Yeah. And my heart, I'm a ocean girl. So
you're a mermaid. Wow.
Yeah. I do all these things remotely, and I want to see places from the water.
Wow. So how has the coaching you've done made you either believe that it's possible, integrate limiting beliefs, just be accountable? I don't even know, like what would you say that's how this work has supported you of having this lifestyle, back on a boat, doing your work remotely, all the things?
Well, I feel like I've said it. Yeah, coming back to me means that I'm trusting me, and I'm trusting the universe that my showing up as me. Like on this, before the call, I told you I was really nervous because I have a big audience. And trusting that I'm enough wherever I go. I bring my huge heart and my loving, sparkling energy. And, you don't typically, I was going to say, you don't typically get a paycheck for that. But there was a woman at the opening of this store, grand opening. She was a stilt walker. So she's inside the grocery store on stilts, dancing in a bee costume. She was a little honeybee. So she had a little yellow skirt.
Oh, how cute.
Antenna. And she had this wing thing with, I don't know, she was holding sticks or something, and she was doing this big waving of the wing things up in the air. And like, she gets paid to be a circus performer, right?
Yeah.
So it is possible.
Totally.
So back to your question, I am trusting and knowing that I am enough, the more that I can allow myself to be intimate with myself, accepting of all the ugly bits, the messy bits, the stunning bits, all of it,
Yes.
then
Yes.
that's enough.
Mm.
And
It's
I've
more than
never
enough.
felt
Yeah.
in my whole life, I'm enough, Allana. This is what
Ah,
you helped me come to be able to say, yeah, I'm enough. As
that's,
is where is.
yeah. Yeah.
And that I can bring some tools and toys and and have some specifics in the 3D realm is really freaking fun.
Yeah.
And my energy's doing a lot more of the work than
Yes.
that.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
the more that I love myself and bring this intimacy here, I can
Yeah.
share it.
Oh, sweetie. I'm so happy for you. Yes. Yes.
Thank you for asking that question. That was beautiful.
Oh, I'm just receiving it. I'm just basking in your glory of watching you be so beautifully human, so radiantly gorgeous, so honest and authentic. I'm yeah, I'm touched. I'm very, very touched. Thank you. Thank you. And thank you for the gift that you be to the group. Such an invitation of honesty and authenticity, and that you receive their honesty and authenticity. And we just weave this incredible tapestry. Yeah, it's beautiful.
It's possible because we create the safe space together.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And it's non-judgmental. And yes, I feel there was a session. Do you remember that first one where we went intense in the group and I shut my camera off because I didn't want to be seen crying.
Yeah. And what did I do?
Well, you said, come back. And I turned it back on and I couldn't look. But when I finally felt composed enough to open my eyes, I swear 3 people were holding energy like this with their eyes closed, just holding, just
Yeah.
waiting,
Just
letting
loving you.
me. Yeah.
Just loving you.
That made me cry all over again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's
It's great.
absolutely nothing to be embarrassed or humiliated about being human. Not in my circles. Yeah.
So that is the tagline. You can say that's one of the top line gifts that I've gotten from coaching so far with you.
Mm.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Big stuff, right? Important.
No, it's huge. When they read my bio, it often says like to live with your heart splayed wide open and live unapologetically. We often think that's boisterous and big, and no, sometimes it's just not apologizing for being a human. I'm scared and I'm not going to apologize. I'm having a human moment.
Yeah.
I'm humiliated and no one's going to reject me. I get to be loved in my wobbly, like all of that. And yes, sometimes like in the bee dancer on stilts dancing, like she's unapologetic, like it's all the flavors. But that's what's brilliant about you going, and I'm going to live on my boat again. And right. And I'm going to have a man with presence. I'm going to have abundance and we're going to do our PSI together. I just had an image as you were talking. I've never really thought about it, but you've inspired it today, Elle, with the new house that I'm going to purchase somewhere in North Carolina. I'm getting the loan, taking all the steps, getting the loan approval, the rest of it. But I want to have like a practitioner room for the PSIs. That's part of what the house is about. But I thought, oh my goodness, I also want to have all these other modalities for their bodies because they've gone through so much to be able to support them and it be truly the healing sanctuary I want it to be. So that feels like a great time to bring one of these Beamer machines into the space. The cold plunge, the hot sauna, the LED lights, all the things.
Well, you need Beamer today, but yes, I will happily support you in that. And I want to go on a road trip and house hunt with you. When you find the place you want to go look at, wouldn't that be a ball?
Oh my God, sure. I would love that. I'm sensing I'm going to Australia, as you know, next week. But I sense when I get back, August, September, I'll find it. October, November, I'll be moving in. It'll be my first holidays, with my healing
Oh,
cabin. Yeah, healing home in the mountains. I
what a
really feel it.
year.
I feel it's done. I feel it's on its way. So as is your boat. As is your boat.
We'll bring the
So
boat to the mountains too.
you can have a houseboat. In conclusion, I want to say thank you for being such a contribution to my life, such a contribution to the community, such an inspiration, such a sister. I love growing and evolving with you. How would you like to complete in terms of anyone watching or listening, who's like, I'm on the fence. I would really like to do this work. And then they have their butts, all the things that make them scared, which is totally valid. We all have our butts. But what would you say from your heart to theirs about this work?
I want to say you're welcome to you. This is priceless. And the cost that I made up about the fear of the money or the fear of the pain or the fear of the being seen, my peace, my growth, my evolution, my contribution is priceless. You are priceless, what you bring. That's what my heart says.
Thank you so much, sister. God, I'm glad we chose to incarnate on this planet, probably again, together at this time. What a treat. What a treat. And yeah, I think it'd be really fun to go house hunting, and because the house is calling. It'd be really a fun road trip. We have another client, Anne, who's also in South Carolina. We could just do a girls' road trip. It'd be really fun. Really fun. Well, thank you, beautiful. And all of you watching, I sense you can feel the connection, the authenticity, the realness, the bravery, the humility, the deliciousness, the joy, the community, the men, the women, the couples, all of us on a vulnerable, brave path together. So if this resonates, on my site, it's called an Intimacy Breakthrough Experience. There is a scholarship code in the show notes here. You can sign up for one with me. It'll be a one-on-one call, you and I. You'll fill out an application so I have an idea what's going on, so we don't waste any time. We can just like dive right in and invite you to this beautiful, magical soul family where we're better together. We're better together. This, to me, is what really matters.
Preach it, preach it.
I love you. I love you.
Howard
Stay on.
Pratt, I love you.
Oh, thank you. Stay on so I can say my goodbye once I press stop. But thank you all for being with us today. And I would love to open my arms and snuggle you and welcome you to the community if it's a fit for you. So until next time, thank you for letting me love you with all of my heart as we talked about this conscious communion with the beloved this month. You are the one you've been seeking. And this is what you've heard from Elizabeth from the beginning to the end of this conversation. She is home with herself. Until next time, all my love.
See you next week on Intimate Conversations. Get out there and make love to life. Well, I'm here. Estonia. Oh, many, many hours of travel. Almost a day of travel. One of my brand new suitcases, the zipper broke. But I got to the Airbnb, and everywhere I've gone, there's been support. And as I was walking to try to find the grocery store here, this woman walked by and I asked for help, and she paints chocolates. That's her job. Like, what are the chances of meeting a magical creature like that? And yet again, it reminds me of this glorious woman, Elizabeth, that we met, who's had so many different jobs and so many different expressions of her curiosity and her creativity in life. And so may the chocolate painter, may the brave traveling soul that I am finally here in Estonia, and may the inspiring Elizabeth encourage us all to drop out of trying to figure stuff out in life. Like, why did it turn out that way? Why didn't this go the way I thought? Or why? And just let go of the head and drop into the heart, open the heart, feel whatever needs to be felt, and then still stay open to the mystery, still stay open to the magic. Because, oh my goodness, the kinds of cheeses and yogurts and breads I got. I'm so excited to go home and relax. Yeah, keeping myself awake so that I get a good night's sleep. And tomorrow I'm going to take a tour around town. And then Monday, Mind Valley University starts. So I get to further my education, throw the hat over the fence, meet new people. And I look forward, even though they haven't accepted me to speak this year, I hope they understand my commitment to the community. And I look forward to being invited back next year. And excited to see Sheila Kelly. I haven't spoken to her in years as well. She's apparently here speaking as well. So again, when we just leave trying to figure it out and trust our nudges, trust our knowing, man, the universe is a magical place. All right, so here I go. I'm gonna walk back to my Airbnb and take adventures. Be willing to go beyond your comfort zone and stretch yourself. All right, I love you.